Hi, my name is Stefano De Dominicis. I am a coaching psychologist and cognitive behavioral therapist and an assistant professor of sport and health psychology at the Department of Nutrition, Exercise and Sport, University of Copenhagen. Today, I am going to present you this talk titled Active Breaks, a tool to promote psychological and social well-being at work. And this research has been conducted in collaboration with Matthias Welsin, co-founder and chief brand officer at Please. So what are active breaks first? Well, we have defined active breaks as short breaks of maximum 2 to 10 minutes performed during working activities in which a person engages in physical, mental, or social exercises, aiming at breaking prolonged sitting so that you can optimize individual functioning. In fact, prolonged sitting is really one of the disease of office workers. We have found many different studies that actually confirm that prolonged sitting affects physical, psychological, and social well-being above and beyond sport and exercise engagement. It doesn't really matter if you exercise every day or you are a very sporty, exercising, active person. With daily exercising and sport, you cannot counteract the specific negative effects that are related to prolonged sitting. However, these negative effects, it seems they can be reversed by engaging in active breaks. We wanted to understand whether active breaks not only reduces the physiological and physical negative consequences of prolonged sitting, but also the mental and social consequences related with prolonged sitting. So we have designed a series of studies, and here I'm going to show you the results of the first study. The research design that we have implemented is a randomized block intervention in which basically we have conducted all those phases that you can see here. First, we gave to our participants a first baseline survey, time zero, in which we measured a bunch of variables. And importantly, we also measured weekly amount of physical activity via the IPAQ, International Physical Activity Questionnaire. And weekly amount of physical activity is here measured in terms of metabolic equivalent tasks. So with that variable, we block randomized participants so to control for amount of physical activity or weekly physical activity. We block randomized participants into 4 experimental conditions in which participants could either receive a wearable devices for tracking physical activity or not, and should actually engage in active breaks or not. So the combination of those variables gave us our 2x2 research design. After the first week, after 1 week of time zero, then participants received our first survey and started the intervention. So in time 1 survey, we measured other variables that we deemed to be related somehow with active breaks, namely anxiety and depression or perceived stress, physical pain, and other very interesting variables which are not relevant here, but such as group identity, organizational belongingness, job satisfaction, job motivation, and so forth. So after time 1, with time 1, actually, our intervention began. And so basically the 12 weeks of intervention started, in which we asked our participants, the one with in the active group, of course, to engage in active breaks at least minimum 3 times per working week, meaning at least 1 day in, 1 day out, 1 day in, 1 day out, 1 day in, via the Please platform. And I will show you the Please platform in a moment. Then after the 12 weeks of intervention, we also had another wave of data collection, our survey at time 2, which basically was a combination of time 0 survey and time 1 survey. We didn't find any difference in people wearing wearable devices versus not. And therefore, I'm presenting you the results of the groups combined, and therefore we will not be talking about the effects or the lack of effect related to the wearables devices. Now, a few words on the Please platform. Well, Please is a startup company based here in Copenhagen, Denmark. We had a research collaboration, and therefore we were able to run this research with actual employers and their employees. So employers can purchase logins at the Please platform, so the employees can freely log in and engage with active breaks. At Please, they call themselves the Netflix of active breaks. And because we are in the International Congress of Psychology, and we are talking about health and well-being, I want to engage with you in one of the active breaks. So I have prepared one active break that is useful for all of us because we are sitting at the computer, so it's called computer breaks. I already logged into the Please platform, and I want you to join me, stand up, and follow along our colleague Pernille here, who's going for 2 minutes to guide us toward a little bit of back stretching that I hope will benefits you and your enjoyable continuation of the Congress. So let's get along together for 2 minutes.
Join me in this workout to work your back. We're going to start with the side stretch. So you're going to bring your arm up and then just reach for the opposite wall. And this is going to work your back. If you're sore from sitting down all day, try to bring your arms near your ear here and just feel the tension along the side. Yes, we're going to go to the other side as well. So bring your arm up and reach for the opposite wall and just feel the tension relieving along the side of your back. This is really good if you've been sitting down all day. Okay, come to the center again. Now we're going to do the rising sun. Do your feet wide apart. Fold your hands here. And then we're going to go down and up. Look up to the ceiling. And bring your shoulder blades together. One again. And down. Look up to the ceiling. And bring your shoulder blades together. We're going to do 2 more. So down. And look up to the ceiling. And bring your shoulder blades together. Last one. Come on. Down. And look up. And feel the tension relieving in your back. Okay? Now we're going to move in. Bend your knees slightly. And then we're going to do the arm twist. So bring your elbows up, but shoulders down. Then we're going to go like this. Just get a nice twist in the back. Yes, try to see if you can look behind you when you go back here. Yes, just feel the twisting along the spine. It's also really good because now we've worked all the way around the back. So we're going to do the last one here. Okay, that's it. Now you can continue.
All right.
More exercises from the
Fantastic. So if you want, you can continue for longer, or you can just stop the video here. And this is one very simple and effective active break. So the point of this for me was for you to show what our participant experienced and how easy it is basically to integrate active breaks in your working office working daily life. And you can do that from home and from the office. And what's very interesting for me and why I like very much this collaboration with Please is that they not only have active breaks, which are, as we have seen now, related to stretching and maybe reducing the tension of your back or your neck, your shoulders related to the position of the computer, but they also integrating active breaks, which are social breaks. So you can actually have fun with your colleagues, make competitions and small games with your colleagues. Very funny. You should definitely try them. But also active breaks related to increase your focus. So meditation, mindfulness-based breaks, or exercising for breathing, for example, for relaxation and stuff like that. So very comprehensive and a perfect tool for responding to our research question: can active breaks increase not only the physical well-being, but also the social and the psychological well-being of office workers? So first results, well, very interestingly, one of the thing to mention is that we have run our intervention, unfortunately, let's say during Corona lockdown. So while we agreed with some of the employers that were actually Pleats clients to start the intervention, it was late fall, beginning of the winter, and a new lockdown was implemented in Denmark. So we actually combined the darkness and the cold outside also with lockdown and being inside. So no difference pre-intervention in the amount of physical activity of the two groups, inactive and active people, but then we see a significant difference in the amount of physical activity between the active group and the control group, the inactive group, such that the inactive group has had a significantly lower amount of physical activity. So we can say that our intervention somehow helped people to stay and remain active. But very importantly, what also we found is that our intervention, or basically engaging in active breaks on a regular basis, buffered what we think were the effects of the lockdown and winter, basically. So while the active groups didn't change their stress level in the 12 weeks of intervention, the inactive groups actually increased stress, or stress increased in the inactive group. It's winter blues are very relevant here in Denmark. Nobody was happy to be in lockdown during Christmas, New Year's Eve, and the weeks that were following, and that period that followed, and therefore those results are very likely to be related to the effect of the environment. But apparently our intervention somehow protected the active people from those effects. So very interesting. Similar things again. We also computed an overall well-being measure, including the responses from our question to how much physical pain people experience before and after the intervention, questions related to their group identification and organizational belongingness, as well as questions related to the anxiety and depression scales and the stress scales, as well as the job motivation and job satisfaction. So we computed a normalized measure of well-being, overall well-being. And what we found is that, again, while there was a decrease, a significant decrease at pre-test and post-test in the people that were inactive throughout our intervention, there was no change in overall well-being for the person that were active and then were engaging in active breaks throughout the intervention. So again, buffering effect, moving throughout your day, breaking up long sitting, protected the well-being of our participants. So in conclusion, take your breaks and try to move more on a daily basis. Try to break prolonged sitting as much as you can. This will reduce stress, will increase your overall well-being. And we also have initial evidence for the studies that we are conducting now that you will actually also increase your performance and motivation at work. We have found also that on average, people like very much to take a couple of active breaks a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and that will help them build a new habit. And we believe that this is a very nice scalable solution, which can be integrated into the workday very well. So with this, I conclude my talk. Thank you for listening. I want to thank you also Matthias Wilson at Pleats. Without him, this research could not happen. And I hope that I inspired you to break that sitting, to move more, and to continue your participation to the International Congress of Psychology, healthy, happy, and most importantly, active. Thank you and have a good day.